not there yet. I'm live. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, at least I think I'm live. We can see here, and I'm trying to record audio and at the same time. So this is just a test. So pay no attention. Hey, sounds great. Ooh, do you want me to have the headphones on? I don't care. I look kind of weird, but I don't need to. Man, I want the audio to bleed in. So what this is me and my Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Hi. This is a test live stream testing out different things. So right now, YouTube. There's Facebook and there's other things too, and then maybe trying to do everything at once. What's happening is there is a big 100th episode of Me and My Roku coming out. Yes, 100 episodes of Me and My Roku. Just me doing a podcast for 3 or 4 years. I actually started it 10 years ago, but then things got in the way. I didn't think the Roku was going to last that long. And then 8 years later, then it's still here, and people are asking me questions, and it's like, well, I can just do a podcast, and then instead of not that I don't want people to ask me, but it's just like if they're asking me, other people may have questions, and so I'll put it out to the world. So here's YouTube. It's the podcast is brought by the Internet Archive, archive.org, and they provided the bandwidth. Thank them, love them. YouTube here. All that good stuff. So this is where the magic happens. This is the studio. Got my TARDIS, got my Winnie the Poohs. That's not a political statement. I'm just a big fan of Winnie the Pooh, if you just can't tell. And then the little missus over here, the A-word device over there, a selfie stick over there, one painting, 2 paintings, or poster. Some stuff over here too. Don't worry about it. It's good. Window over. Should be getting a ring light pretty soon too. So this is going to be for the big show. So I'm just doing a test if I can record at the same time, and it looks like I can. So hey, so I'm just testing. So I'm going to do a segment here. Oh, dropping stuff. Oh, sorry. Okay, so doing a little test here. I may have to put the headphones back on for this. Hey everybody. Okay, good to hear my voice. So I get a trade magazine, and so the topics get a little outdated, and so they didn't quite make the big show. So I'm just going to talk about them here a little bit as part of the test of this live stream on YouTube of Me and My Roku. Okay, hey everybody. So, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I got a couple of topics here and that I couldn't get into previous shows. I cut them out of a trade magazine. I get Media Play News. I get it once a month, and sometimes I've already either talked about them, or I think one of them here says about CNN Plus get started, and that didn't last very long. So by the time I got this magazine, CNN Plus was already gone. So, but there are some interesting topics, like for instance in the editorial of Media Play News, the topic is bundling is the future, and the headline is what every streaming subscriber is looking for is a combination of the streaming services that allows them to find what they want and get what they want for a reasonable price. Okay, sounds fair, and that's her opinion, and that's fine. I'm the editor here, Stephanie Prangy, I'm going to say, because we had a department store here back in the day called Prangy's. So it could be Prang, but I'm going to say Prangy. And the only issue I have in that statement is what every streaming subscriber is looking for. Okay. And the fact of the matter is what every streaming subscriber is looking for is to do what they want. Now, some might want to bundle, but what this is implying to me, this is why it's Me and My Roku, is one thing, because there are bundles out there. There's the Disney bundle, Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus. Apple has a bundle where you can get Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, iCloud, and different things. But if they're implying that, I want to bundle Netflix and Amazon Prime and all these things together, that's just not going to happen. The bundling is going to happen when these things merge together, like Warner Discovery and before that, Discovery Scripts and all that stuff too. So there's going to be bundling in different things, but bundling in the future is to say, hey, I want to take these things and put them all in one basket. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to be like a portfolio of stocks. There's going to be a portfolio of apps on your Roku or other streaming device. Oops, sorry, hit my microphone there. Was trying to get one story, ended up cutting it into two in different places, but that's okay. So the next story is service hoppers. A report from the Parks Associates that 36% of streamers are service hoppers. And that equates to about 32 million households, which means they switch between services and resubscribe to service multiple times in the previous 12 months. That's what we like to call streaming, cord cutting. This is what we fought for. This is what we wanted. We want to get things when we want them, let them go, bring them back if we need them again, and all that stuff. So and we'll talk about this later in the podcast portion, is, these guys are going to want you to stay there, and viewers are going to want to come and go and all that. Or maybe they don't realize they can. That's the whole point of this show and different things as well. And just so that actually seems a little light, that about only a third of people are service hoppers. Me, on the other hand, I probably would do more service hopping if I wasn't getting gift cards for the services that I get, that so they don't come out of my pocket. If I actually had to pay for these things out of my pocket, I'd be coming and going out of a lot of things a lot more often, and probably should anyway, even though I have a budget of credits. And then finally, in this segment here, because I had to cut it in half, if we put it together, I should have scotch taped it maybe. Password sharing costs streamers $2.3 billion a year. That is the headline. Roughly, I think it says here, 215 million people in the United States using SVOD, subscription video on demand. Contends that 25% are using someone else's paid-for account. An internal Netflix survey found 42% of its subs in the United States use that. So obviously, Netflix has been struggling. Investors want them to kind of crack down on that. And Netflix has been weary of that for some reason whatsoever. I think that they kind of put it as a badge of honor at first. And again, I don't care one way or the other on it, but that seems a little like, but a third of your business kind of out the window. It's kind of important. Now, I used to work for a company that spent 100% of their efforts on only a third of their business. They're no longer in business. So now you're letting a third of your business just go. Now, to me, if you could have just spent, no matter, and the thing about, I will say this because they're practically gone, a Radio Shack, spending 100% of your time for a third of your business. And the problem that I argued was, it didn't matter whether you put 100% in or what, you were still only getting a third of that business. So why not spend 50% of that for that third of the business and put 50% on the other stuff that's profitable? Anywho, for Netflix, then put a little more effort into that third of the business, and you don't have to get it all at once. You just get it more. That's just a thought. It's just me and my Roku. We're just testing here anyway. So that's the thoughts here on me and my Roku. Okay, that is the recorded portion of the podcast. So that seemed to have worked. I got levels there and all that stuff. It seems like I'm streaming here. It says I'm live, and I've been live for 10 minutes now. One other thing I kind of wanted to talk about, just while we're here, we're just chatting to myself here and all that stuff. Saw a thing called Rewarded TV. I haven't talked about this on the podcast yet, and so I'm kind of giving you the exclusive right here. There was, back in the day, and I can't remember the name of it because it's gone now anyway, it wouldn't matter, but I found an email or something like that and looked it up. But now, one of the ways I get stuff is I get gift cards. And one service that I used years ago was I would literally watch ads, and then I would get $5 or $10 of credit in Amazon that I could only use at Amazon for like video purchases. So I have all these. I think I got half the season 5 of Friends. I think I got a thing called The Taste and different shows. And so it was fine. It was fun, actually. So now I'm seeing this thing called Rewarded TV. And it's like you can watch these things free, and it's supposedly available on the Roku and the Amazon Fire TV and different services. And you watch these things, and what you watch, to keep it from getting ad free, they'll credit you like cryptocurrency, and that's their own little currency. Okay, there's swag bucks and different things like that too, which I use to get gift cards and all that stuff. So I'm not totally dismissing it, but I just wary it, and I haven't talked about it on the podcast yet because one, I haven't used it or tried it yet. But I'm just chit chatting here on a live stream, so I would be wary of different things like that. So, but if you see it on your Roku, what's the harm on it? I guess. But that could be also ways for you. And then I also looked at some of the shows they were watching, and I'm not sure you could pay me enough to watch. So that's the other trick. With the other previous service, there were things that I could pick then what I wanted on Amazon then for an Amazon video credit. Well, that's what it was. It wasn't necessarily an Amazon gift card. It was an Amazon video credit. And that's why I had to use those different things. So anyway, okay, so I've rambled on for 10 minutes now. Looks like everything's working. I'll double check that. But camera looks good. I look good. Hey, could have shaved, I suppose. The HD camera will expose that later and all that stuff. So this is where that. So get ready for the big 100th episode of Me and My Roku. If you don't know what Me and My Roku is yet, it's a podcast where I talk about me and my adventures in the courtroom stream. And all I do is tell you what I do. I don't tell you what to do. I just tell you what I do. And hopefully that inspires you and all that. So it's a podcast where it's available here on YouTube as well, or any podcast platform. I usually have a list. I don't have it right now, but you can check that out. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get a podcast. iHeartMedia, yes. Okay. Himalaya. Okay. It's there. GeoSavant. It's there. Odyssey. Oh, we love Odyssey. So anyway, so check that out. Thank you so much for checking this out and checking me out. And I'll be back with you real soon.